We had a second cold spell for the year 2022. As you know from my last video, the first one was on night of 23rd and the morning of 24th January, and the temperature dropped to 28 degree Fahrenheit back then. The second one hit a week later in the night of January 29th and in the morning of January 30th. And this time the temperature dropped to a 20 degree, if not lower, on my property here in Central Florida. Though we are in zone 9B and lowest temperature should be here 25 Fahrenheit, but it definitely was much lower than 25. I had a DIY weather station consist of two sensors. One stopped working after temperature dipped below 30, other continued recording, and it recorded lower than 16. Now I can't be sure of the accuracy, but this was reading from my indoor thermostat. I put it in the patio for about 15 minutes at around 11 p.m. Keep it in mind that temperature kept dropping till morning. So even in the patio, it went much colder than that. But in the open air, it should be even a couple of degrees more colder. So even though the weather station about half mile away recorded 22, it's safe to say that on my property it dropped below 20. Now let's take a look at the damage of the trees. Today is February 4th, about 5 days after the second cold spell. So this is a longan. It was a 3 years of seedling. It was fine a week before when the temperature dropped to about 28. I mean, semi-fine. There was some damage, but now it's like completely dead. Even in the branch, if I go, you don't see any green right there. See, so it is completely dead. This is a longan. It was 5 years old, I believe. I had longan couple of seasons out of it. It was very tasty longan. So next to it is a mango. So this is a Malikia brand mango, and so this was pretty severely affected even at 28. This also is about 3 years old or maybe 2.5 years old, grafted, and I had mango last year off it. Not many, but I think 3 mangoes, and so this is also dead. Malika mango, as you can see, and the branch over there, it does have some green there, but the mango takes time to go down, so most likely will not survive that. Then here is the lychee, and the lychee did much better than the longan, very surprisingly, as the general wisdom out there is longan is more hardier than the lychee. But here, as you can see, the lychee did survive. Had decent amount of damage on the top, but on the bottom foliage, it is still okay. So I think with some dieback, it will still live. So it is pretty amazing to see a lychee survived 20 degree or below 20 degree temperature, and it was not only a couple of hours, it was like almost entire night on that range. So this is probably the only tree, tropical tree, that survived. Now this is the sugar apple. The sugar apple was completely dead even at 28. The leaves were dead and the tree is supposed to come back, but now that it dropped down below 20, it might not. You can see I don't see any green under the bark, so most likely will be dead. So there is the moringa dead. This is a jaboticaba, and it was pretty dead even at 28, and at 20 it's completely dead. Let me see if something underneath the bark, and there is some green there, but I don't know. I don't believe it will come back. Now the Kent steel, so this is a Kent steel, and this was fine, very fine at 28. This is a grafted. It had a couple of fruit on it when I brought it this year. It has a fairly good girth right there, as you can see, but it's died, pretty much dead, completely dead. You can see. Take it to the hair. Under the bark, it does have some greenish there, so it's probably it might come back based on the fact that it was okay at 28. So, but it's completely dead at 20. Now this is a guava, also dead. It was dead at 28. This is a macadamia, and it did had some decent damage on the plant, on the leaves, but the tree, I think it will live. One of my pleasant surprise. This is not a tropical tree. This is almost like an oak, but much tendier, and so so this is one other tree that survived the massacre. So that's the guava. No need to talk about anything. So there's another guava. This is, I believe, a different variety. This is called wild Florida guava, and the other one was a pink guava. The wild Florida guava took more cold. The other one was dead at 28. This one did not die at 28, but at 20 it did die. This is a elephant apple or chalta, and this also was dead at 28, and now I believe it's completely, yeah, it's just hard to say, but yeah, there are some green vibe there, but most likely it will not come back. This is not a deciduous tree. This is a lime tree, and it was a seedling. It did sustain some damage, as you can see. So citrus is not entirely immune at around 20 degrees. So yeah, I mean, it had some damage, as you can see right there, but I believe it will live. So this is a wimpy. This was a seedling, I believe, a year and a half old seedling, and this was majorly affected at 28, and at 20 it's completely dead, as you can see right there. Surprisingly though, I had one more seedling on the pot, and that was also outside at night under a oak tree, and that was fine. One other also planted on the ground under the oak tree on that other corner right there, and that is also fine. So I guess the oak protected them, but unprotected one is dead at 20. So then this one is a Manila tamarind. This one also was majorly affected at 28, and at 20 it's completely dead, as you can see. Even I don't see any green under the bark, so this probably will not come back. There is a white sapote. White sapote is supposed to be fairly hardy tree, but this one is a very small seedling, so it did not take the first well. I don't think it will survive. I do have few other seedlings that did survive on the pot, so that might be the legacy. But white sapote, as I hear, it should live around even low 20s. But this one did not make it. This is a seedling. Next to it is a mango, did not make it seedling. On this row, I had a whole row of moringas. I did not leave none of them. There is a mango seedling. This was also survived at 28, surprisingly, but it did not make it when it went down to 20. The same goes with this one. It survived last time at 28. Did not survive at 20. Same with the neem tree. It was fine at 20. But now it's completely dead. I took some of the neem tree's leaves, but there are so many of it. I mean, obviously I cannot take no use of it. But yeah, it's dead. Now under the bark, I'm not sure. It's very hard to scratch it, so it might be fine under the bark. But we'll see if it come back. It might. Then there is this one is a golden apple or amra, and this one I don't know. It should be like semi-deciduous, but doesn't looks like it because you see under that it's completely dead. But maybe below here, no, even there is dead. So yeah, so this is done for it. 20 degrees is far too cold for Amra. So this is the last fruit I take. Jujube is fine as expected. It even did not drop the leaf. Next to it is the tamarind. I've been seeing tamarind tree back home since childhood, but I never saw color of the tamarind tree like this. So it's unreal to see a tamarind tree like that, because tamarind is fairly cold hardy. I mean, I don't know why it's dead. Maybe it took some direct wind, but it should sustain low 20s, but it didn't. And it's a mature tree. It had some flower in it last 2 years actually. Did not bear fruit, did not keep the flower for some reason, but yeah, so it's 4 years old grafted tree, and now it's completely dead. Next to it is amla or Indian gooseberry, and this was also fine at 28, but at 20 it's not. I still do see few green leaves here and there. Right there you could see. So this might come back, but yeah, this was like full of leaves. As you can see, the whole thing is like, you see. So these all were the leaves from these trees, and but based on few green leaves there, it might come back. Let me see what's happening here. See right there. So this one might leave. I'm not sure about tamarind though. It might leave, might not leave. 50-50 chance also. There is another lime, which is also fine. I don't see much damage on that one. This one is a heartbreaking one because this is the last remaining tree of about a dozen seedlings that I grown from my own seed. This is a wood apple, and so now all gone. And this is also about 5 years old seedling. So this is one of the very first tree that I seeded. It's a wood apple, but I don't see any sign of live nest there. It might come back. I'm not sure. Let's see. There is some green. It's hard to see because there is a hard bark, which is a good sign really. So it might be alive under the hard bark. So we'll just have to see. So there is another wimpy. The other wimpy you saw earlier, it's dead. So now this one was good on 28 degree because it's under the shade of this oak. But at 28, at 20, this is no good. This is also dead. Wimpy. So the last remaining wimpy I have is on pot. We'll see. Now this is a jamun or jam tree, and this is rated at zone 8. So it's supposed to be fairly hardy, but somehow it did sustain some major damage. So as you can see, every outer leaves where it exposed to the wind, it sustained damage. On inner side, it is still there are some green, so the tree itself might leave, most likely. Um, I see. So inside is better, but the upper side is completely dead. Like on the side, and look at that. So though this is a evergreen tree, it just tasted the what freakish winter can do. And this is the biggest tree that I have, that I planted, and it's a huge trunk size there, as you can see. It's probably 25 foot tall. But yeah, so this might leave. So this is maybe third some subtropical trees. None of the tropical leave. So among subtropical, this is the third one that leave. This is a June palm, and this is, I think, also be fine. This is a deciduous tree, and so this is a stone apple or bell. As you can see, it was completely fine at 28, and but at 20 it did sustain some major damage. But I still see some green, so the bell might also leave on that temperature. This was also protected under this oak and pine, so maybe that helped. And next to it is the mango. This one was like semi-dead last time, and this time it's completely dead. Move on. The papaya dead, moringas dead. There is another moringas dead. There is another elephant apple, pair of elephant apple dead. And there is this one is Manila tamarind, and this one was fine at 28, completely fine. I didn't see any visible damage at 28 because this one, again, it's protected, but at 20, no good. This is another stone apple seedling. I see it's still alive. This is a jacote, or relative to the candle apple and the candle fruit, and so this is also completely dried as far as the leaves goes. Underneath the bark, yeah, it's hard to see, but it might die back all the way in the root, and then it might come back from the root. I don't know, we'll see. So yeah, it's supposed to be a fairly hardy tree, but as you can see, it did not leave at 20 degree. Now this is the jackfruit, completely dead at 20. It was it was still living at 28, surprisingly, but no more at 20. So that's probably one of the expensive trees that I had. So this is a golden nugget jackfruit, and as you can see, it's completely dead. Move on. This is a mulberry. I believe it's going to be fine. What's going on here? Yeah, it will be fine. Mulberry is deciduous trees. So this is a Sapheda or Saphedalia, and this is also dead. It was okay at 28, but at 20, no good. There was some green inside last time as you saw, but not much anymore. Even see under the bark, as you can see, dead. So it will not survive that. Then next to it is another jackfruit. This was dead even at 28, and 20 is now it's completely gone. This is a imbi, or I believe, I'm not sure what's the other common name, and that's a seedling that's also dead. This is a star fruit. It was very affected at 28, but it was still some green, but now no longer. The whole thing is like completely, as you can see, it's like completely dry. So you know. But it might come back from the root. It could. I don't know. We'll see. Most likely not. Probably 10% chance. This is a vegetable hummingbird, and also completely dead. This is a black sapote. Last time it was okay at 28, but at 20, this is dead. This is also one of my favorite tree here, and it was flowering the last couple of seasons, and now it's dead. I don't think it will come back, but I am not much familiar with it, so it might not. So there is some moringas dead. This is a bayram leaves or bayram berry, and so as you can see, the whole tree is dead. Looks cereal. Um, yeah, dead. The citrus, it did had some damage, like this, but I think it's fine. It's other issues as well than the cold damage. This one though, that one was tangerine. This is a orange, and the orange did take some frost damage. This is definitely frost damage, and it did not have any new growth, so fortunately, so it did not affect it that way, but it did affect much. So citrus is not immune at 20. Now this is a mango, the biggest mango that I had. This is a Valencia Pride, and this is also dead. So it may not look dead, but it is dead. Even under the bark, if you see it, it's completely dead right there. So I had a couple of years of mangoes from it, and well, last year it was more. Other year before it was only one or two. But yeah, so the mango is dead completely. The Barbados cherry, and as you can see, this tree, the Barbados cherry, is supposed to be fairly hardy. It's supposed to be zone 8, and this is only zone 9B. We are like 3 zone south, and yet it did not make it. So yeah, the Barbados cherry is dead, and I had like decent amount of berries out of it last 2 years, and so this is dead. Actually, there are some greenish there, so the actual tree might yet leave, or might not. Look at that, it's like falling, even the green one. So yeah. Okay, so this one is a Jamaican cherry, and this also died, and this was in the pot, and I moved that inside the garage or a metal shed, and it died in there. So a metal shed without a heat source isn't any better than outside. You can see, so basically that's what happened. It's not crunchy like other leaves, but this is also dead. If you see what happened underneath the bark, as you can see, even underneath the bark, it's dead. So Jamaican cherry isn't hardy to temperature that cold, 20 degrees. So yeah, that's basically it.